In the dusty battlefields of the ancient world, there was one name that struck awe into his enemies and filled even his allies with an uneasy tension: Pyrrhus of Epirus. He was a commander whose victories sometimes felt more like defeats. History paints him as both a brilliant strategist and a hero who dared to gamble with fate itself. But who was this man truly? A genius conqueror or a ruler cursed with triumphs that slowly destroyed him? The answer to that question may outlive even Pyrrhus himself. Fact 1. Pyrrhus was considered one of the greatest commanders of ancient Greece. Pyrrhus was not just the king of Epirus, he was known as one of the most brilliant military minds of the ancient world. Historians often place his name beside that of Alexander the Great, and some generals even regarded him as Alexander's true successor. According to legend, even Hannibal, Rome's greatest enemy, called Pyrrhus the strongest commander I have ever seen after Alexander when he heard his name. Pyrrhus's power did not lie merely in the size of his armies. His battlefield tactics were wildly bold, yet astonishingly intelligent. He could instinctively spot an enemy's weakness and change strategy with lightning speed as the battle shifted. Among warriors, his name inspired both fear and admiration. Facing Pyrrhus felt like challenging an unstoppable force. For this reason, he entered the history of ancient Greece not only as a king, but as a commander who carved his legend into the battlefield itself. Fact 2. Pyrrhus carved his name into history through his battles with Rome. Pyrrhus's most famous campaigns were the brutal wars he fought against the Roman Republic. At that time, Rome was rapidly rising in power and seemed like an unstoppable force to many. But Pyrrhus did not hesitate. He marched into Italy and struck the Romans with blows they never expected. The battles of Heraclea and Asculum entered history thanks to Pyrrhus's brilliant tactics. He crushed Roman forces multiple times, dominating the battlefield like a blazing fire. His war elephants terrified the Romans, smashing into their lines like thunder. Yet these victories came at a devastating cost. After one of the battles, Pyrrhus famously said, "If I win another victory like this, I will be utterly ruined." This statement gave birth to the term Pyrrhic victory, a victory so costly that it is equal to defeat. Fact 3. Pyrrhus introduced brilliant, groundbreaking innovations in battlefield tactics. Pyrrhus was not just a brave commander. He possessed a rare strategic genius that set him apart on the battlefield. His greatest skill was deploying his troops in ways that weakened the enemy, both psychologically and tactically. Before every battle, Pyrrhus carefully studied the terrain and crafted plans that allowed his soldiers to fight with maximum efficiency. His use of war elephants was considered a terrifying and extraordinary innovation for the time. These elephants smashed through enemy lines, broke the Romans' formation, and could change the fate of a battle within seconds. Pyrrhus used them not only as a weapon of destruction, but also as a tool to crush the enemy's morale. He also combined the famous Macedonian phalanx with fast, agile light infantry to create a powerful hybrid army. This made his forces superior in attack, defense, and maneuverability. Pyrrhus's tactical innovations were so influential that Hannibal, and even later Roman generals, drew inspiration from him. This fact alone proves that Pyrrhus was not merely a warrior, he was an architect of military art. Fact 5. Pyrrhus' religious beliefs in view of fate deeply influenced his decisions. Pyrrhus was a ruler shaped by the polytheistic spirit of the ancient Greek world. Before going into battle, he always consulted priests, performed sacrifices, and sought signs from the gods. For Pyrrhus, these rituals were not mere tradition. He genuinely believed that no commander could succeed without divine favor. His belief in fate, especially the Greek concept of Moira, divine destiny, was strong. Pyrrhus saw himself as chosen by the gods, destined for great deeds. This belief sometimes drove him to bold decisions, and at other times, dangerously risky ones. According to legend, Pyrrhus carefully analyzed dreams and omens before major battles, and if they seemed unfavorable, he was willing to change his entire plan. This shows that his religious worldview was not just a matter of faith, but a powerful force shaping his military and political strategy. Fact 6. Pyrrhus was a master of diplomacy, but his political maneuvers often brought danger with them. Pyrrhus was not only a formidable commander on the battlefield, he was also an active and ambitious political player. Navigating the complex diplomatic landscape of the ancient Greek world, he formed and dissolved alliances with remarkable speed, using diplomacy as a strategic weapon to elevate Epirus, a relatively small kingdom, onto the stage of great powers. He forged temporary alliances with Macedonia, Syracuse, Tarentum, and various Greek city-states, strengthening both his influence and military capacity. However, Pyrrhus's diplomatic style was often impulsive. Whenever he saw a new opportunity, he shifted sides without hesitation, pushing former allies aside. This gave him short-term advantages but created long-term distrust among neighboring states. Some historians describe Pyrrhus as a brilliant strategist but a poor manager, able to conceive grand political plans but unable to maintain stable, lasting relationships. In the end, his diplomatic gambles left him with fewer allies, growing political isolation, and a gradual weakening of his power. Thus, Pyrrhus's talent in diplomacy became a double-edged sword. It elevated him to greatness, but also planted the seeds of his eventual downfall. Fact 7. Pyrrhus's death was as dramatic and unexpected as his battles. Pyrrhus's death is considered one of the most unusual endings for an ancient king. He survived countless battles, fought across Greece, Italy, and Macedonia, and faced Rome at its peak. Yet his fate caught up with him in the most unexpected way. In 272 BCE, during a chaotic street battle in the city of Argos, Pyrrhus found himself separated from his troops. As he engaged a soldier in close combat, the soldier's mother, watching from a rooftop, tried to protect her son. She threw a large roof tile down at Pyrrhus. The tile struck Pyrrhus on the head, knocked him off his horse, and he was immediately killed by enemy soldiers. Thus, the legendary commander who had faced entire legions and war elephants did not fall to a mighty general or army, but to a single tile thrown by an elderly woman. Ancient writers often cite this story as a symbol of fate's irony, the idea that even the greatest warriors cannot escape the destiny written for them. Might have crumbled long before the Punic Wars. Fact 8. Pyrrhus also fought in Sicily and came close to driving Carthage out of the island. Pyrrhus's military ambitions stretched far beyond Greece and Italy. He also launched a major campaign in Sicily, where he confronted the powerful Carthaginian forces. In 278 BCE, the Greek cities of Sicily appealed to Pyrrhus for help, hoping he would free them from Carthage's growing influence. Pyrrhus responded immediately, crossed to the island, and won several impressive victories. He pushed Carthaginian troops back and even laid siege to their strongest fortress on the island, Lilybaeum. For a time, he seemed just one decisive step away from completely expelling Carthage from Sicily. However, his increasingly strict rule, heavy demands, and ambitious plans frustrated the local Greek cities. Their support began to fade, making it impossible for Pyrrhus to continue the siege. Eventually, he abandoned the Sicilian campaign and returned to Italy, a decision that many historians believe changed the course of Mediterranean history. Had Pyrrhus succeeded, Carthage's dominance might have crumbled long before the Punic Wars. Fact 9. Pyrrhus's character was both brilliant and dangerously unpredictable. Pyrrhus was known not only for his victories, but for the powerful and intense personality behind them. He possessed extraordinary courage, always fighting on the front lines alongside his soldiers, which made his army deeply loyal to him. But this bravery also had a reckless edge. Pyrrhus was driven by a constant hunger for glory, never satisfied with what he had achieved. Whenever he won a battle, he immediately searched for the next challenge. Whenever he gained a kingdom, he dreamed of conquering another. Ancient writers described him as a man of greatness without moderation. His tactical mind was brilliant, yet his ambition often pushed him into risks that more cautious leaders would have avoided. This made him both inspiring and unpredictable, a commander capable of incredible success, but also of dangerous misjudgments. In the end, Pyrrhus's own character became both his greatest strength and his downfall, shaping the legendary yet turbulent life he left behind. Fact 10. Pyrrhus's legacy still influences the modern world. Pyrrhus's impact has survived thousands of years and remains visible even today. The term Pyrrhic victory, widely used in politics, business, sports, and military studies, comes directly from his costly triumphs over Rome. Modern strategists still analyze his battles to understand the dangers of winning at too high a price. Historians consider Pyrrhus a key figure in the evolution of military tactics, especially the use of combined forces in psychological warfare.